Coming from the Watusi underworld. Good, bro.
What's up? What's up, brother?
Everything good,
you?
man. I'm doing well,
You
man.
outside? You outside?
Yeah, man. Just out here. Just getting that vibe. Got the underworld.
Yo, it's great to have
EMV.
you on Fresh Convo Season 2.
Yeah. I
You know what
made
I'm
it.
saying? Yeah.
That's what's good. Let us entertain you. Let us entertain you. Let us entertain you. Big shout out to the amphibians. There's so many
Yo,
to name. I can't even name them all. Just big up all of them. Big up.
yo, how are
Big
you,
up.
man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. We're just coming out the studio, just recording something like, you know what I mean?
Yo, you
Yeah.
keep staying busy.
I'm
What you
gonna
been
go
talking
downstairs. I'm gonna go
about?
downstairs. Look, I'm gonna go downstairs and let you hear. I'm gonna go downstairs and let you hear a little something that I just did.
Word. See?
Yeah.
All right, so you ready for this? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right,
I'm Tuskiville.
so this is Fresh Convo Season 2. As we always
Yeah.
start, where are you from?
PG County, Bowie, Maryland, South
P-
Bowie,
PG
Old
County,
Bowie, all
Bowie,
that, the whole
Maryland.
Bowie. Yeah. Yep. DMV. Bowie.
Word.
BWIE. Stone.
Yo, what was life like growing up in Bowie, PG County?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like, we only like 27 miles or so away from DC. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, but like growing up out there, it was definitely, diverse. A lot of, family oriented. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
A lot of sports. You know what I mean? I was into. You know what I mean? And then I came across a lot of people that were into hip hop. You know what I mean? Like that was like a real close knit community of people. You know what I mean? A very close knit community of people that was spread out because not everybody stayed in the city. People lived
Right,
on the outskirts of the city in different places.
right.
You know what
And
I mean? So
can you describe what like was it like all different kind of hip hop? Like you got like the
yeah, it
cat and
was
sit
like
by. You got
I
like
remember. I remember like being. It was a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm thankful for that because like I remember being like young. I was a paper boy, and like getting my money, I would go and buy. I would go and buy tapes. I would look at all the tapes or like albums and stuff. You know what I mean? That were in like the source or something like that. But I would always cling to like the independent stuff, and like that's how I got hip to like Master P and the stuff in the Bay because they had funky fat graphics. That's who did all their album covers. But anyway, like when I would go and buy stuff, like see, I'm talking about the Bay. It was so much music that came out of the Bay independently.
right.
So like I had money, it had like 30 or maybe $40. So I would just buy as many tapes as I could. You know what I mean? Just zone out, just listen to shit.
And you found this like on your own, right? Like, did you have like
No,
friends that
I
told you
mean
like, "Yo, you
we
should check
we
this
didn't have a.
out"? Or
Of course I did. Of course I did. But like you gotta, I mean, we had Video Jukebox, Robert McDaniel's, we had Rap City, all that back then. Also, you know what I mean? We had Waxy Maxis, we had Tower Records, we had all
word,
those general places. We had PA Palace. You know what I mean? All that was in Capitol Plaza. So like the PG County circuit that I grew up in was heavily musically oriented with a whole bunch of stuff to pick from.
that's
That was all
dope.
interwoven. You know what I mean? Because like my brother was in a go-go band, Raw Deal, and like he was the lead rapper. So like maybe like a band or two that I think I saw before that opened up in him. They covered Raw Hide. When I saw that, I was like, I just it was just many. That was one segment of it of being like innovative by like more diversity. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. A go-go
Right,
version of Raw Hide, ODB.
Yeah, nah,
In
that's
in
amazing.
'95.
In
In
'95.
'95, that was the band was Unique Dimensions.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Do you
like all
remember
that
the
was
first? Well, go ahead. What did you say?
you good, bro? Go ahead, ask the question. You good?
Oh, oh. I was gonna ask. Do you remember the first hip hop song you heard
Um,
that got you just like, yo, I gotta do this?
um, Buddy,
Gala?
probably Buddy. I heard a lot of hip hop songs before that, but Buddy actually made me want to actually like be an MC and like really get in because I always felt like I knew them and like they knew who I was and just being a kid, I always felt like I just cling to them because people said I looked like Chi Ali. And then as I learned about who Chi Ali was, I saw Chi Ali in the video. I was like, oh shit, that's Chi Ali right there. So like I would say that Buddy and like anything Buddy. Buddy definitely was, but like damn near anything that came off of 3 Feet High and Rising, it made me want to be an MC. Like I was like, I think I could do that. I
Oh,
really
that's
want to try to
amazing.
do that.
That is amazing,
hmm
yo. Um, Tell us the story of who brought you to U Street and why.
Um, yeah, my dad, man, my pops. That's who definitely opened up the way. And because I used to get in trouble a lot in Bowie, you know what I mean? Just being growing up in a town where you know everything and people know you, you know what I'm saying? You bound to get in trouble. So he was like, you want to see real trouble, real hustlers, David. Hey, like you want to, and I mean, but see, I'm glad I brought up native tongues because that's where I was rooted in that mentally in my mind. Like I wanted to be like that. You know what I mean? I wanted to, that gave me the avenue to MC, not you know what I mean, being in trouble and shit like that. That I mean, you know what I mean, as a
Right,
kid, you know what I mean, not trying to just be in trouble, like you know what I'm saying, just trying to be positive, be balanced. You know what I mean? That was a
right,
good
right.
balance. So he brought me out there, like not necessarily like just left me, but he worked on at the Reef Center. You know what I mean? So, I would get hungry, maybe want to get lunch or something like that. He was like, go get it yourself. And, he would give me money, but, you know what I mean? But I would walk through those streets. I would walk through U Street and see, you know what I mean, and see that area. But it was cool because I wasn't even expecting it, but I might have walked past Bar None. It might not have been Bar None, but it was something. But I saw a whole line. It was like a genuine line of people that was waiting for the open mic. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, see, this music's right here, bro. I never forgot
Right.
that.
That's
It was probably 96, 96,
yeah,
97.
yeah.
So
That's
that
a
was cool.
blessing, man. Because
Yeah, it was that. It definitely was. Yeah,
your father brought you to the right place.
yeah, he definitely did. He brought me to Black Broadway. Yep, let me run free. Yep.
Yo,
But
that's
yeah, that was
crazy.
definitely good. Who knew?
So let's talk about the year '97 and '98. As an MC, your name was
Right.
Sticky Situation. So how did that
Woo!
come
Going
about?
back, yeah. Going back to Moonshine, you know what I'm saying? See, that was the whole thing of like, um, Bowie was like, it had outskirts, you know what I'm saying? The area. So like, when I really started like learning about like, you know, MCing and stuff like that. And I was in South Bowie. I was in the area, the South Bowie area, and that's kind of like not too far from an area called Mitchellville, or they call Queen Anne. That's where my homeboy Sean Bourne grew up in, Queen Anne. Queen Anne is like not too far, so it's like over there by Wild World or Six Flags and stuff. So man, he was a producer, and an engineer, and MC. He came out like cannabis. Like his shit was just like real punctual, like real. It was just mathematically equipped, and I had more of a like sticky situation. I'm just like a b boy. Like I mean, we went in. You know what I'm saying? We went in. So I would say like from dealing with him, we created the group Moonshine, and then
Right.
we started working on other stuff. Um, he had Odyssey come through a lot when he was in the group called I want to say the Iliad. Maybe I think that was or the Phalanx, something similar to that. All that happened around the same time when I met Kev Brown at D Revolution Cafe. That was an open mic. Cy Young was actually there also. Shout out to him, the low budget fan. And that was all like from that 97, 98, 99 time span. All those crews, all started like collabing together. You know what I'm saying? Because see, I became Dave the Hip Hop Junkie dealing more with Cat Brown as opposed when I was Sticky Situation in the group Moonshine with Sean Bourne. But then we actually, would collab, cross collab, you know, all
Right,
from that like 97, 98 to like 2002.
wow.
Yeah, 2002.
So when you became Dave the hip hop
Hip
junkie,
Hop
was that
Junkie.
more like a solo or like solo?
Well, I mean, it was just a rebirth for something new. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? Because like I started getting more into like eventually going down. See the Revolution Cafe that was in not too far from where like the South Bowie area. It was like in Largo or Central Avenue. So kind of like if you be like in my mind, like I started to get a name. Like I always kept in mind like Project Blowed and The Good Life, like how they did something because they had like a foundation and like
right,
they would perform there and people would know that they was there. And then I started seeing that happening by coming to the Revolution Cafe because I was in another group while I was with Sean Bourne. While I was in Moonshine, I was in another group called SB the Planet, and like the SB was South Bowie, right? But I was like into mad like information from Dr. Malakazi York. He had a lot of books that were like really elevating. You know what I'm saying? With like numerology, which he called ontology. He talked about it came from the city called On, or they call Heliopolis. So the 13 S13. So it was like it was mad stuff that I would build with that group because we were all from South Bowie. And the thing that they were more on just like we could just come through and freestyle. You know what I'm saying? They like they weren't really on like they did it for the love. It was just like another side of like my artistry that I was able
right,
to perform because Sean was more on concrete of like making projects and beats and stuff like that. So he didn't necessarily, he didn't come out. Like I was more like energetic to say, hey, shit, man, let's go out because of the influence from like knowing about the good life. So I was like, shit, I mean, we have a little spot right here, not too far from home. Shit, I can walk if I don't get no ride. So it was cool. It
So
was like convenient. It was like convenient while U Street was still going on. It was still in my mind, but I didn't start to go back out there until it was like shows, big shows,
right,
and like had rides and like
ah,
and sometimes we didn't have a ride. So I just built from there, like and so like that's when I started becoming Dave the Hip Hop Junkie. When I started
okay,
in the when I started intermingling with D Revolution Cafe because it was kind of like a place where, like I said, you could like build your following up because people knew you was going to come every Wednesday.
hmm.
You know what I mean?
So what kind of MCs were there, or was it like mixed
Yeah,
poets, MCs, gangsters?
yeah, it
What
was
was
all
going
that.
on in there?
It was all that, and I'm glad you brought that up because see, that's how Kev Brown gravitated towards me and SB the Planet because we came with a more organic style and just like, oh, just give us a beat. Like that's why they liked us because they wanted to even have us in competitions, but then they tried to take us out of the competition. Like, nah, man, we gotta let these other people win. Like, y'all just freestyle. While they hyped us up, was like, SB the Planet because like we had a diverse group. We had like a white guy, we had Filipino cats. You know what I mean? We had black guy. You know what I mean? It was
Hmm.
like a real diverse group of MCs.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and they were just like they were more like on the freestyle, just freestyle over instrumentals.
Right, right.
This cipher, you know what I mean? And like I said, like they didn't really like they weren't concerned about like the scene about going out to the city like that because like that was something that was close to home. You know what I mean?
Right.
So since it was close to home, it was like, hey, they would just built it up there. And I was like, hey, I'm with that too. And I didn't have a ride around that time, but then when I got with Kev was like, yo, he's like, y'all shit is tight. I was like, nah, your shit's tight. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I peeped them. I peeped them, and then see, Cy Young was there at the same time too, and like Cy Young, I don't know if you know who he is. He's like almost 7 feet tall. So like everybody feared him coming in that joint. So it's like when we all three linked up together, like I think we might have been on stage a couple times like that. But I'm just saying, like because of the large variety of MCs,
Right,
like the backpackers kind of stuck together. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It was kind of like that. But everybody intermingled with one another because we were kind of like all locally from the area.
That is dope. That's really dope
Hmm.
to like know that there was an actual spot, a cafe, where of course
Yeah,
you
the
just said like
revolution.
different MCs come, rock the mic, sort of like U Street in a way at
Yeah,
the
it definitely was.
at
It
the
it
time.
definitely reminded me of it. Yeah, and it was something where I was like, maybe even though I can't go out there, at least I can be able to build something up here for myself and like my crew. You know what I
That
mean?
is that is
And
crazy.
it was,
That
yeah,
is
it was
crazy,
crazy,
man.
man. Yeah, met
What
Kev
was your
there
first
and
hip hop?
Sai.
Well, do you remember your first hip hop show you went to?
I want to say the Jungle Brothers and Freestyle Union opened up for him at Wet. First one, first underground hip hop show in my mind
Word.
that I can recall. That shit was dope.
It was dope.
Yeah,
Like the
I think
Jungle
that's when
Brothers.
yeah JV's man. What's that?
Yeah, man. Of course.
Good
Name
intensity
DC
on stage.
artists. Well, name some DC artists who inspire you.
Head Rock, you know what I'm saying? Sean Bourne, you know what I mean? Amphibians, you know what I'm saying? Sub Z, um, let's go. Um, let me see. Priest and Nomad, you know what I mean?
Uh,
U Street Face,
right, right. You,
you know
yes.
what I mean?
Yo,
Man,
that's
there's so
dope.
many, man. Shout out to all the, I can't really think right now.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you.
Yeah, it will. Cause I know I'm
Word.
missing some people though, but Amphibians is so many though. I mean, Infinite Loop definitely. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Um, man, this I know it's definitely some more poem C's. You know what I mean? It's definitely more, man. Of people that I would just like watch and like, you know what I mean? They was like they were really into they see like when I got my car in '98. I got my car in '98, so I was just able to just drive out there. And like once I found my way, cause you know how like sometimes you drive in the city, you might end up, you make a left, you like, oh nah, I made that right. You be somewhere, and then I was like, oh man, my gas. But one time I was working at UPS, and I got with Black. Black was I mean, he was in Live Society. Live Society was like an
Yes.
offshoot of Infinite Loop.
Hmm.
Yeah, he worked at UPS, and I was chatting with him, working with him and shit, busting our asses and shit. He was just like he was talking about being on the mic, or he was like freestyling or something like that. I was like, yeah, your shit is tight. I just had to let him know. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you Aquarius? He was like, yeah. I was like, bro, I'm Aquarius too. I was like, yeah, keep spitting that shit, bro. I was like, that shit rough. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, such and such and such. He's like, I'm all the way fucking out here. I gotta go to my band practice right after this shit. I was like, my folks, we in the source, unsigned hype. And I always had unsigned. I mean, I had so many people like from that independent phase. You know what I'm saying? I went hand with. I would go, Tower Records, get magazines, rap pages, stuff like that. Put people on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I
right.
recall like early, I had that source. I had that source copy, and I saw Live Society, and it said that they were from DC. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
recall that. I remember that. So I was like, bro, well, you need a ride? You know what I'm saying? I was like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Then and I took him to the practice. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where I
Ah,
met like
that's dope.
Los. That's when I met Los.
Right.
Los is probably the one that I remember the most. But yeah, but
Nah,
see, that's
like,
when yeah. But once he kind of like opened up the door, I had a little bit more confidence to just come out there and just drive
right,
out there and just pop my whip and just what I mean. And like I really didn't go inside a lot of places because it was so much stuff that was happening outside. It was so many ciphers that were outside. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Some places I went inside, but most spots I didn't, bro.
Oh, damn. Well, not Live
Yeah.
Society. Like
Especially like State of the Union.
that was the band, yo. I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
love
They were
Live
serious
Society.
too. They yeah, Live Society, they were tight too, and Opus Octobon. They definitely because
Oh,
I think they
definitely.
took me because they was like, oh, you driving? I was like, yeah. They was like, man, that's what's up. It was like, so I packed the car. We all went to maybe like Metro Gallery after
Right.
that, and Opus Octobon, and then that's when I got familiar because I was like, you know how I think maybe Black Indian used to be in Freestyle Union.
Yeah, yeah. He
So
was
at
in.
that
Yeah, he
show,
was in
so at
Freestyle
that
Union.
show when they opened up, I think he was there with Jamal and Chris Styles, maybe somebody else. That was all like the Freestyle Union that opened up for Jungle Brothers at that show. So I was like, oh, okay. And you know how like Black Indians distinct. Like you won't remember him. You know what I'm saying? How he look. And you, no, I'm serious though. He got that, he got that expansion like that. Like that's when I started seeing like it reminded me of the Blow because I was like, see, I'm seeing all these artists that are independent. They not.
Right.
It's like they just gods. They rap gods. That's all I was saying. It was like that's why because I remember. Oh my God! See, that's right when I got my car in '98. Right, I was like, oh, brand Nubian. See, that's where I had like I started getting more knowledge of stuff. So it's like the older people that saw me coming up in Bowie that were real selective of the underground hip hop too. That had been going out. It was like, oh yeah, all right, son, I see what you doing. That it was like, go see brand Nubian. I was like, hell yeah. So I went with them to go see brand Nubian, right? Yeah, Black India opened up for them. Right? It was like number 5%. It was like peace, call, peace, 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 peace to the call, peace. Yeah, Black India opened up for them. They was like, yeah, this nigga came with that style. He came, but because see, then I started. I was like, yeah, who is he, bro? Because he was just so eclectic, and he was just up
Right.
there on solo Black India. I don't remember nobody being up there. He had that song, Romy One. It was like our crunk. It was like our DC trance hip hop. It was like you know what I'm saying? Our chant rap already right there. It was like, no, this is, he ain't God. It was like, where would it be the gods? I was like, nah, see? I was like, y'all don't understand that. That's our shit. I was like, that
Right.
nigga's from here. And then I started realizing like we are our own entities here. You know what I
That's
mean?
dope. That is
We
really
are our own
dope.
artists and entities. Like it's major. You know what I'm saying? I was like, see?
Yeah.
I was like, damn. And
Yeah.
just like it was so many times, but
Yeah.
that's just one. This is one instance where I really remember because I came with the OGs. They was like, man, that nigga Black Indian, nah, man, he shouldn't have did that because he changed the frequency. He changed the frequency because the people that came with him or whoever, they were just, you know what I mean? He just balanced it. I saw that.
That's
I remember somebody else did that, man. Somebody else from the scene did that when they opened up for somebody that was like, you know what I mean? A
Did he
bigger
have
name.
Live Society with him or no?
Mm-mm. Because I want to
No,
say
he
Black
didn't.
Indian. Black Indian did so many projects. Like I think this was like his solo album.
Right. Okay. So this is when he
Yeah,
went
it was like
like
his.
full out solo. Like
Yeah,
yo,
he went like that's why I started seeing like he got different like characteristics. You know, that's why I say he got that expansion.
right, right.
He got that
Now he
fortune.
used
You
to
know what I'm
rock with
saying?
yo. He used to rock with Live Society, and I feel
Yes,
bad
and Opus Rockabon.
because we used to go to his sessions, live sessions with Live Society, and
Yeah.
actually take over.
Huh.
So I'm like, we would just take over. It's like, oh no, the amphibians are here. All 30 of us would go on the mic or whatnot. It was hilarious.
Man, that's what's
But
up.
like
Cause I mean,
that's really dope that you've seen that that part of Black Indian actually.
yeah, most
Very,
definitely.
very dope artist. Like, he was in the Freestyle Union and he was in Opus Occupant. And
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
rocked with a lot of sets with Live Society. And
Word.
then like you saw him at a time when he did his solo thing.
Solo.
That's
I mean, I started realizing a lot of the rig. It's a lot of MCs that came out of Riggs Park that are dope. So
right,
pretty much a lot of the MCs that came out of Riggs Park influenced me.
right, right.
Yeah. A
Wow.
lot of the ones that came out of Suitland, Duke Ellington, a lot of the ones that came out of Duke, because like it was a foundation, and
Right.
it became as they got older. You know what I'm saying? Like it became more evident. You know what I'm saying? And then the ones that went to Suitland too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I should have went to Suitland. I went to Bladensburg,
Hmm.
but it was all good. But I mean,
Nah,
I'm just saying I
that's
started.
great because
Yeah,
later on, like, you have places like U Street and other places that they
where everybody
connect.
would meet. Yeah,
Right.
everybody
So
connect. Yeah, that was a great thing. Yeah.
that's
And it's even more layered because when I started going out to the highway, you know what I'm saying? And like because my first the first Watusi album I did, that was out there in VA. That was out there in Alexandria. So when I started learning about the people that was from the highway out there, like that was a whole scene too of people that was about the culture, about it.
wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. When did you become Watusi,
So
and
that
where
was
did the
like
name
going.
come from?
So like it was given to me, you know what I mean. But see, it had to like absorb, you know what I'm saying. Like I guess like from inward outward, you know what I'm saying, and being more, you know what I mean, open to let people know about that, you know what I'm saying. From already naming myself as an artist, Dave the Hip Hop Junkie, you know what I
Right.
mean. You know, I guess I kind of like it made it maybe seem like I'm not trying to be hip hop anymore. So it was like it was something that I had to develop within myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dr. Malachi York gave me that name. You know what I mean? And then
Wow.
also with, you know, being in the ancient Egyptian order, it was a whole, it's a culture. It's a culture. Ancient Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole culture right there was given books, you know what I mean? Things to wear. It was a culture. So it's like, it all had to develop, you know what I'm saying? It all had to
Right.
develop in my life. So I would say between 2003 and 2005, because it was like I was leaning from being Dave the hip hop junkie to meeting more open people because I had to study. I had to I had to let people know I was tried, you know what I mean, on what I
Right.
knew and stuff like that. There were classes, you know what I mean. Even before I was reading those books and going to classes, I still do now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's something that is it's unique. It's something that's unique, and it's like, hey,
That's real
I'm a part
dope.
of something that's unique. I am unique. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, the Watusi. Well, that's what's up, Watusi. That's what's up. See, like I learned like it generates because that was a song that I came up with, right? And then that's where it started being like it was evident. You know what I'm saying? Where I was like, at first I was just keeping it more enclosed from my studies and what I knew. You know what I'm saying? But then I started coming across a lot of artists that were in the '60s
Right.
that used the name. And Camp Low was real inspirational to me, man. And I think it might have been Sonny Chiba in the beginning of Uptown Saturday Night. He said, "I make a cameraman, a cylinder fella, hold a fella tight, make a aqua pussy do the Watusi for the nine." And like I used to zone out off them, like man, like those is my, you know what I mean? It was like because people it was like a cult following that they had. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The people that was really into their music, especially that first album in between when they came out with Let's Do It Again, because that was kind of like a wow. You know what
Right.
I mean? So I was like, I'm around somebody that knows about that, that's pumping that. So it's like it just all shoot me. I was like, let's make some songs. You know what I mean? Let's concept this. Let's conceptualize this. You know what I
Right.
mean? And the people that I knew about it, you know what I mean, they helped hit me to things, you know what I'm saying? Because um, you know, Lab Tech One, he came in my life around that time. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And he had collaborated with a lot of people that might not have did stuff with some, but he gave me like a reference, you know what I'm saying? He gave me a reference. That's where a lot of like the shapeshifters, they gave me a reference to be able to, you know, be on the path of something that was unique. And then it led to Sun Ra. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know, and Sun Ra had a song called Watusi. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it was like a lot of people I started to meet because I was more open. I was putting it out there. I wanted to make, you know, some new type of music, something different. And then
That's awesome.
it just helped give me confidence.
That's
Yeah, I'm Watusi.
that's a
That's
real
what's up.
story.
Watusi.
That's a
That's
great
what's up.
story
So I just
behind it,
started making more.
dude. Nah, that's real. That's real, man. That's real dope.
My man said Queen Anne Road.
How many
See, Queen
albums
Anne
do you
Road.
have
Probably about a
as
good 10.
Watusi? Okay, as
Yeah,
Watusi.
probably like a good 10 solo albums.
10 solo albums. And do
Yeah.
you have a favorite among them 10?
Um, are you gonna go like within like the late 2000s or the early? I would say for the early 2000s, Ethereum Experience, and then for the later 2000s, Tusieville.
Deuceyville.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your new album. Yeah, you just dropped my album what yesterday?
Yeah, man, that's right. Check that joint out. Coat flu. Coat flu.
All
Appreciate
right.
that. Yeah.
And where can people stream your music or buy your
Um,
music?
they can get it on like iTunes, Spotify. Soon I'm gonna put it up on Bandcamp. You know what I mean? Tidal. A lot of your streaming platforms. If somebody want to find out, they can just like I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link in the chat
All
just in
right.
case.
That's what's up. Yeah,
A lot
because
of
I
that
mean,
stuff.
you got 10 albums.
Yeah,
Like
I got a
Watusi.
good 10 solo albums. Yeah. So I'm just saying
Yo.
I created. But I mean, it was a lot of people that are friends, like family. That you know what I'm saying that I would collab. That's cool. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Cause like the culture. You know what I'm saying? You got your own culture out here, and it's not the standard. You know what I'm saying? You a cult. You know what I'm saying? So I was always building up on that culture, that underground hip hop. So it's like there's so many people in the cult where it's like it's a different situation than mine. But if they do stuff with me, you know what I mean? I'm gonna expose it.
Right.
I'm gonna let it be known because it's like
Yo, who did production on these albums? And did you like are they all solo or did you have guest features?
I got one good guest feature, my man John I MC,
Okay.
and then I got two DJs that did features. DJ True Justice and DJ Scratch One.
That's what's
But
up.
like production wise, we have Black Ink. You ever heard of him? Black Ink, he got a lot of work, man. Shout out to him.
Hmm.
Sean Bourne.
All right.
You know, I was in a group called Moonshine with him. You know what I
Yep.
mean? My man, peace to him. Who else we got on there that did some production? My brother Amun. Amun, he's in a group with me called Cult Leaders. He's an even producer even way back before with the Watusis. So we got Amun, Black Ink, Sean Bourne, and rest in peace to my man Dio. Produced like maybe 3 tracks on there.
Wow, that's amazing, yo. Yeah,
Yeah.
so check out
I got one
Watusi's.
acapella track.
Okay.
Watusi. So like, okay, I would say like my solo album where I have more of like the Watusis on is uh Defeat the Enemy,
Mm-hmm.
Cult Leaders, Watusi Cult Leaders, and Independent Alien Recording. That's where a lot of the Watusis are on, like Dio, rest in peace, my brother, and Soul Amazing Young Pharaoh.
Yep.
Both of
Y'all
them
gotta
passed.
listen. Y'all gotta hear it. 10
That's what's
albums.
up.
You gotta
I mean,
hear it.
I got them all on CD. So I got all those joints on CD. I was bootlegging all those joints. That's what I'll be doing out on U Street right now. Like people got my CDs, man.
Right.
They'll say, "Oh, those are mixtapes," but people got my albums because you know what I mean. I'm an independent hustler, man. Like on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
tip,
And
like because
yeah, explain
where it's
about it.
like even though if they don't buy it, you know what I'm saying, like the stream game. So it's like it's still a promo, it's still a way to. But a lot of times people support because the
Right.
ciphers people support, bro. U Street, like you build your mojo up on U Street when the more you been out there. Ask the bums. The niggas can stomp on the ground and ask for money and they'll get it from somebody. So it's a magic out there. It's a black magic out there for us.
There
You know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? You just gotta like, yeah, you know,
Independent.
it's a balance,
100%
man.
independent.
I mean, we gotta generate the energy so we can become independent. You know what I'm saying? We slaves right now.
Right.
You gotta generate the energy. At least it's on the mind. At least you know what I'm saying. You trying to take it from the subconscious to the surface.
That's
You know what
dope.
I mean? At
Yo,
least we
let's
trying
talk
to.
about
At least we
how
on that mission to build that.
word.
Yeah.
Yo, let's talk about like how and why you started doing music videos.
I mean, like I said, going back around the way, like you had people that didn't care about. Shout out my man Mark, Fat Mark on the Green Mile, smoking. He a homebody. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know how people got the trap then. You know what I mean? Or back now they got the trap. Like people had their own house where they ran the rules. You could come through, do whatever. You know what I mean? he had the digital TV always on deck, like the music choice and all that. You know what I mean? He paid attention to a lot of MCs. He an MC pretty much himself. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
he would know about names that I would talk about. He was like, "Oh, the Saint. Oh, I know that white boy. Why you got a video, Joe? Why you ain't got one? Joe, no music choice. Oh yeah, ain't that damn movie Panacea? Oh yeah." And he just listened to what I say, or he might have came out one or two times and might have seen who damn who was. Be like, "Oh, I remember him. Okay, yeah." You know what I'm saying? But then he'd see the music, he'd see the video to Drake come up, and be like, "Oh yeah, you making all these others, you ain't got no damn video." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, fuck it." And it's
Yo,
all about the footwork, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, you got to understand at that time, a lot of music videos. That's what people were watching. So if
This
you
shit
have
is
a
wild.
music
He gonna
video, you
laugh like
better
shit.
listen.
He gonna laugh like shit when I say it because he knows that shit is true. But I remember I came back from New York. I remember I was out that joint for like a week, bro. I was at Fat B. I met a Creature, Creature
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he saw me out Fat Beast freestyling and shit. He was like, "Who are you?" I was like, "Watusi, bro. I'm from outer space." He was like, "You're one of my brothers." He was like, "Come with me." Yeah, I walked around. It was like an hour. I was like, "Yo, where we going, bro?" He took me to like a warehouse. He was like, studio, all this shit was on deck. But I got like Josh scared. I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Who's working this shit?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Nah, bro. I can't be in here." He was like, "Fine then." He was like, "You want to go?" He was like, "You look like you want to get something off your chest." I was like, "Man, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you want to go to a battle?" Then he took me to a battle, right? He took me to an MC battle. That nigga left. I was like, "Yeah, you know what I mean?" He just left me, bro. I was like, "All right, fuck it. I'm going to stay here and get in this joint." I battled Rabbi Darkside. I served this nigga, right? But this nigga, Masai Bay was like, "Man, you saying all these slurs, talking about extraterrestrials." And I was like, "Man, that's how we do from DC." He was like, "Oh, you're from DC? Nah, you ain't in this shit no more." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh." But look, all that shit happened, right? All that shit happened. Then Souls had a show at a knitting factory, the old knitting factory, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, A plus saw me. He was like, "Tuesday?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Man, come on in here, man." He was like, "Come on in here." Then Planet A was like, "Who's this?" He was like, "Man, it's Watusi, man." He was like, "Man, it's my partner, man." He was like, "Come on in, bro." He was like, "Watusi." He was like, they used to. He was like, he said, "Shake the Man." He was like, "Shake the Man's father out there in Fresno." He was like, he's the one that built up the Watusi daycare center.
Mm,
And then when he said that to me, that's what made me think about what Dr. York taught. He's like, the Watusis were the protectors of the small people. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I was like, "Damn, I'm with A plus. A plus is shorter than me." You know what I'm saying? But that's the one thing I felt that was weird. I was like, "Damn, this shit is right." All this shit happened, right? All this shit, I'm selling CDs. I come back to Boo and niggas like, "Oh, the same got a fucking video." I was like, I ain't even get to tell these niggas what happened. I ain't even get to tell. I was like, I just left, bro. That shit happened to me a racket time, but then I started putting it out there. I was like, I want to do a video. And I think
Right.
the first one I did, I was like, it was on U Street. It definitely was on U Street. Like, everybody, people watching it was like, "Well, you out here on U Street." I was like, "You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand.
Word. Like,
Why
who
you on
got
top of
you?
that
Who
pyramid?"
got
I
your
was like, "Bro, you
videos?
don't understand." Huh?
Who'd you get to do your videos?
I think my first video was my man Steve. Shout out to Steve, man.
Hmm.
Hotep by Atum. He used to come by the bookstore. I want to say by Hotep Atum.
Right.
Steve HD. Yeah, he does live videos now. I haven't worked with him in a minute, but yeah. He did a good number of videos for me, like real good ones. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now
Yeah.
I saw some of your videos.
Like a
You
lot of
got a
my
good
older
look,
ones, like people, a lot of
good
my older ones, like
quality videos.
NASA. Thank you, man. Like, and like we were just like on that field trip shit. Like, cause I worked at 930 Club. They was like, "Well, Tusi, if you don't want to work," cause like once I told Josh, shout out Josh, rest in peace, Josh. Josh, he knew I was a rapper, man. He was just like, "Oh yeah, man, you want some wild shit, man." He was like, "If you want to get off any type of day, just let me know." And I was like, "Man, yeah, bro." I was like, "I want to work in the morning or something like that, so I ain't got to come at night." He's like, "Cool." Remember Josh? He had all the tattoos on his face and all that shit, like real big dude. That
Oh
guy.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But
Word,
like
yo. How did he hear about the amphibians? And what was your first encounter with the crew?
So like I talked about the Blood, I used to call just like how I used to call Project Blood all the time or B-Boy Kingdom and find out what was popping. I used to call 12 inch every day and talk to Jamal from the Amphibians. You know what
Oh,
I'm
that was a
saying?
good
And
source.
like, I never made myself too actually evident. You know what I'm saying? When I would come through, maybe he might not even have been in there, or maybe he just might have been mad busy. Dude he was probably different than he is now. He's probably like he was on baller status then. Like that shit was that hustle. Talking about bank, but yeah, I would always call and ask him or anybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think maybe what Sam the Man Burns might have been working there at that time, right?
Right, right.
I would have conversations with man anybody that picked up the phone to find out what was hot, and like they knew I would call. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So a couple of times I heard Letters entertain you in the background, and I came through to try to buy it. That joint was sold out. Cause I remember like they was like, yeah. I remember asking about it. He's like, yeah, it's just popping overseas. He's like, it's all gone. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Then they were like, I mean, I would spend so much time just ear hustling looking at flyers. There's so
Right.
many flyers I would look at the zone out and then you know what I'm saying, Frank 151 books. But like I personally got those later, but like you know what I mean? Call 12 inch up, call B-Boy Kingdom up, call Fat Beats up, call up like, you know what I mean, record labels and stuff like that. Just, you know what I mean? And like just try to, cause we didn't have, it wasn't no labels. It was like, that was my inspiration. That was how I was trying to like get myself out there. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So
And
that's
there was
how I
like
did hear
no
about
internet.
amphibians and then,
There was no
yeah,
internet
before the
then.
internet. Yeah, it was definitely live to go to somebody's house back in the day that had the Hyro site or the Living Legends
Nice.
site. Shout out to Living Legends. Somebody that had it, they was the god. I remember that shit. That shit was like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and going to music stores to find out flyers and stuff like that, man.
That was dope.
It
Yeah,
was
I
dope.
love the Tower Records. Yeah.
Like
hmm
like
Or
I
like some of
have
those, like you said,
like
Frank
I have
151.
those flyers too.
You still got them, man. You lucky, bro.
Definitely
I moved
got them,
around so
man.
much.
You
I
know.
moved around so much, but yeah, a lot of them are implanted in my mind, though. A lot of good ones.
Right, right,
Album covers, album covers and stuff like that. Pictures of MCs.
right. And the artwork on
Yeah,
flyers,
right.
amazing.
Most definitely. Do you
Word.
remember who did a lot of good artwork? Corey Stowers.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Nah,
like
just
the name right offhand.
lot, yo.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a lot of his culture guys in the scene, man. That was like epic, epic, epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was just growing, man. I was just growing, but I was there. Like, I learned something every time I went out there to go back. So that's why I was always like confident. Like, I might go back home, but I'm gonna come back out here and just, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
And like
right.
that's how I was just building up my stuff, just constantly building that plan up.
Just the
Even
experience and
from
stuff, man. That's real dope, man. Um,
yeah, because yeah, most
yeah.
stuff.
So you became a father in 2002. How did
Oh
that change
yeah,
your life?
yes, what's up, man? That definitely changed my life forever, man. Shout out to my daughter Isis. Yes, most definitely, man. Yes, Isis. You already know with that type of name, that's gonna change your life, bro.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it changed my life for the better, man.
Now, did you have to
To
like
see that.
sacrifice some things at that time? Like,
Yeah,
as far as music or whatever you were
yeah,
doing before?
yeah. I'm glad I had a lot of support, though. You know what I mean? That
Right,
continues even to this day. To you know, hey, watch my kid. You know,
right.
grandma while I'm out there. Told about being all the way up in NY. I see you probably like two. You know what I mean? But see, I always came back. She always knew that I had some type of passion. I would let her know about things and
Right,
show her stuff. You know what I mean? Of the culture and bring back stickers. She loves stickers. She
right.
loved cartoons. You know what I mean? But not like just like generic stuff. She liked a lot of stuff that was like kind of like independent because I was already on that. You know what I mean? When I conceived her, so it's like it's all in the gene. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? She's so retro. It's not even funny. She loved the '80s. You know what I'm saying? She loved that era, so that's what's up.
You let her listen to your music?
Oh yeah, as she was like young when she was early, she loved my stuff. I mean now she she's just different as she's older.
Right.
Yeah, but as she was young, yeah, most definitely, man. Shit, she was this beat right there, bro. ISIS.
ISIS. That's a
Yeah,
dope
yeah,
name.
man.
That is a very dope
Cause
name.
she led a song I had called "We Are the Cult Leaders." And wife beat us. You don't like it, eat us. You can't beat us.
Word.
Yeah, I know my mom used to be like, "Come on with that beaters. Why do you like?" She be like, "Why do you like this wife beater? Why do you have to say wife beater? Don't say
Not
wife
like
beater."
that, mom. Not like that.
But yeah, we used to go ham with we used to go ham with it, back in the day. Because when she was young, because she was very like she had the gift of gab. That's all I can say is even right now, like she got the gift of gab. So it's
Right.
like she hears sounds and stuff like that. Like I swear, man, one time when she was young, she cried. I was like, that sounds like Alicia Keys hitting the note. And I had to remember Alicia Keys, she born the same day as me. So I was like, see, that's the genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Might You know what I mean? Possibly it was like it's trying to tell you something like, growth speaks in tones and
Right.
vibrations, you know what I mean?
Yep. Nah, that's
That's
real,
how and
man.
that's actually how she is right now. She lets it know that she has her own tone. She puts her tones out there, and you know what I mean. That's all through growth and
Well, I
expansion.
know, I know when she was crying, she didn't feel like Alicia Keys. So, like, no.
But I'm telling you, like I was like, you hear that? Nobody else doing something. I was like, yeah, baby, yep,
So
yeah.
why is everything music inspired?
I can't remember what I can't remember what tone I can't. It's not like a song it's from her first album. Cause I love her. I don't know why, but I like her first album though. Her first album, that joint rocked to me.
Right.
I
That's
don't
what's
know
up.
why, but it's
So
like
let's
around
talk
that
about.
time because yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean like going to the open mics and or being out there on U Street, a lot of musicians was out there. Like so, seeing that and seeing like we was talking about Open Soccer Bond and like Live
Right.
Society, seeing MCs up there and like singstress and people express themselves with bands. It really started making me think like, oh man, I need to be in a band like some way or just have live instrumentation. So that's what I pretty much started subscribing to, buying that and listening to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Very
I
good.
felt like she had that sound around that time in the beginning. I
Right.
was listening to that a lot, and then Embrya by Maxwell. I listened to that a lot. That was really you know about Embrya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Actually.
I'm telling you, bruh. I don't even think nobody's even touched nothing on that, man. But I'm telling you, nobody has probably admitted. Somebody probably already has, but just listen to that album, man. Like that Jones is amazing. Just for like something that even that we're on right now as hip hop artists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's deep. That's very deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, let's talk about your other aliases under Watusi. Name all the aliases you have under Watusi.
Okay. We got Watusi. That's what's up. We got we got Watusi cult leader. You know what I mean? We got Tussiville. You know what I mean? And I get in where I fit in. You ain't living how I'm living. I'm a Tusi villain. You know what I mean? Tusi villain.
Tusi villain.
Yeah, Tusi villain.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Um, Let me ask you this: what's your thoughts
Sure,
on
bro.
DC music today?
I mean, we
Like the
already out
stuff
there.
that's coming out now?
We already out there. So much you can pick from. Like it's returning back to the old ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With this independence right now, it's like it's just returning back to the old ways on how it was like. If you like it, you like it. You know what I'm saying? And then something else that you don't know about, you're gonna end up liking because it's just so much of the freedom of music and it's the choice of what you like and like artists right now. It's good. So it's gonna do nothing but expand. It's like people gonna be we making history. It's gonna be something that's gonna be historical. Just like how where we were on U Street, historical site. You know what I mean?
Right. Is there
It already
anyone?
has.
Right. Is there anyone that you want to collab with? Like, okay, let's say outside of DC or any MCs or producers. Sort of like, would you want to rock over a Pete Rock beat or a Premier beat? Like, Question like that.
Cool. Yeah, I like to work with John Robinson. Uh, I like to work with Medusa. Um, I like to work with Backbone from Dungeon Family. Um, I like to work with Just Alive from Jedi Mind Tricks or formerly of Jedi Mind Tricks. I like to work with Vinny Paz from Jedi Mind Tricks. I like to work with Merce. I like to work with the whole Living Legends, any of them.
Right? That's dope.
Um,
That's a dope. That's yo. You put that out there, it's gonna happen.
Man, I hope so, bro.
Actually, I can make John
Gotta get my
Robinson.
bars up too. I mean, I like to, yeah, for real. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your bars up, bro. That's all. It's just constant. You know what I mean? Building and like being able to play your part in something. Everybody plays like when you listen like to a lot of Wu Tang albums, like solo albums, even like how they were so mindful of like that of their movement and mindful of each other. Like every year, maybe one of them would be able to have like a solo album come out, but they would have somebody feature on it.
Right.
Like how Ghost featured on Raekwon's, the Purple Tape, and then
Yeah.
Iron Man came out and Capadonna came in. It was like it was always, and a lot of other groups. That's just somebody I can name right off the bat. But I mean, of course, Haro did it also. But I always felt like that was something that's definitely important. So like for my solo albums, groups came from that as Watusi. Like for my solo albums, of course I said the Watusi's co-leaders, but that was like more so inside. Then I started branching out from the people that were in the scene returning back. And then I created TOA, Tribe of Asaru. Then another group, Food for the Gods, with two members from Rosetta Stone. So like it just kept going, bro. It's just perpetuate. Like it's gonna be other groups. You know what I mean? It's gonna be other crews within crews that's gonna formulate. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So you're gonna actually have a big, like, let's say, like a Wu Tang
Family.
family.
I just want to have a family of like artistry. We all live together, and it's like we just commune together. Like that's what
Right.
Asaru. Because Osiris,
Mm-hmm.
the Greeks, he was cut into 14 pieces, and Aset or Isis, he brought the 14 pieces back together. It's like that's in short the whole story. Like that's written on the walls, and you know what I mean, like actual fact. But like that was something that Polaris, Polar Texture, Yah
Right.
Almighty, and Phenomenon, the fourth dimension. Well, Polaris was in fourth dimension too. See, it was like other artists other than like talking about amphibians and it was other like crews. We were inspired by y'all, but like we just didn't get maybe that platform yet. So it was
Right.
like we were at the true school building our spores up sharp, kind of like when y'all like disbanded.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's how we kind of like had that bond, like kind of like how y'all have that bond earlier. When y'all did like letters and stuff like that.
It's so funny that you mentioned lettuce because, like, yeah,
I
like
mean, I
that
made
was
that.
one of
It's
the
like
happiest songs that we've done, and one of the first songs that actually the first songs that we've done as a collab as the amphibians. So
it's dope.
yeah, nah, that's
It's
really
dope,
dope
bro.
that
I
you.
mean, it helped make certain things as like a tool for me from y'all music, and y'all were legends and like
Oh,
a
thank you,
myth.
man.
Y'all were a living myth because as I got to put myself more out there to be receptive, I learned about like I was saying in science. I can't recall like totally everything, but the amphibians they split into various mammals or riptoids from themselves. And I always saw that it's inspiring and specific with y'all because as I learned to know about the other artists that were in the amphibians, like for instance, like Aqua, like a lot of them came out of Duke.
Right,
So ain't no way, not, like those guys, they were so powerful to me because like they were already in it. And like they came to the realization that, you know what I'm saying, down there older. It's like they didn't, I was like, they ahead of the game, you know what I'm saying? So they was always doing music in somewhere within the scene. So I was like, I knew it could spot them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I was saying, Scorpion is doing miscellaneous flux.
Right.
John Moon was probably, Cornell West Theory, the Fine Print. It was just so much stuff, man, coming from y'all. It's like I never could forget that y'all opened up that way. So I was like, that's one of the amphibians, but now they just doing bigger things. And
Right.
then in 2002, when y'all did that reunion show, I didn't even know that was even happening. I just came to automatic. I just got pressed up by the police. They was like, cause I don't even like. I guess maybe years back, they had it at a regular. They had it like at a regular spot, like where they would regularly have it. But this specific year was in Southwest, like over there by like 203 or Delaware Avenue, kind of
Right.
like a hood area. Police station over there. So they was like pressing me and my man up, like me and his brother. He two white guys and me. And he had the video camera because like they were documenting everything. They went to the Good Life.
Right.
They drove to the Good Life from Maryland and went to
Wow.
that shit. Yeah, and yeah, so I couldn't make it, but they videotaped everything and showed me that. So I was like, oh yeah, let's go, man, let's just go and
That's
document out
beautiful.
here. So they pressed us up. I was like, damn, I don't even think it's gonna happen. Then we got in there like automatically. We just got in automatic. We go all the way up to the top of the building, like not outside, but like the highest level of the building. Y'all were performing, like y'all were getting ready to go on. Enoch was opening up for y'all, like he was introducing y'all. That was one of
Wow.
the greatest shows I've seen, bro. Salute to y'all.
Thank you. Nah, that
It's definitely
that was
because like
amazing. That was
I really appreciated how like y'all did a segment of y'all did group stuff, but then y'all did like segments of your own stuff, and like that's
right.
how I was already seeing how y'all were. Like y'all were already like hip and like doing just things that were up to date, even though it wasn't amphibians, but y'all were all up there together though. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Nah,
Who
it was
stuck out to
hilarious
me?
because I mean we did. I mean, yeah, we backed up each other's songs, even though we didn't know each other's songs. I'll say
Ain't
that
nobody
much.
know. I know I
It
didn't
looked
notice
good
because
though. It looked
yeah, it
good
definitely
though.
looked good. I hope to see some footage from that though. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely hope that we can do that shit again though, ASAP, and I can be up
Uh,
there with y'all.
yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, we definitely
Cause
need
I
to do
know, I
some.
know, I know. After that, I remember that shit. I was like, when I got home and shit, I was riding. I was like, yo, I was like, Jamal wasn't there. And I remember I saw him. I was like, yo, why wasn't you there? He's like, oh man, come on, man. I had to get paid. I had to show Baltimore. He was like, come on, get out of here, kid. He's like, get out of here, kid. I was like, oh, all right, I'm gone. All right, God. All right, God.
yo, yo, that's Jamal today, yo. So, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
most definitely
That's
respect,
definitely Jamal today. So,
my man.
um, let me ask you this: what books, what books recommend?
hmm
Would you recommend to understand the science behind Watusi?
I mean, I don't know like a specific book, like per se to say the whole science, but I mean like to read up on like the different tribes you would say that were before Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's what Watusi is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a pre-Adamic tribe. It's pre-tribal, pretty much. So I mean, a book I'm reading right now by Dr. York is talking about the 9 different races. Um, it's called The Proof.
Right.
The
Wow.
Proof. I think that's a good one. Check that out.
Word.
Nine
Yo.
different species. The 9 different species of
Yo.
the African race.
Word. All right.
Yeah,
Check
that
out
number
these books
9.
that he just recommended. This is probably like
Yeah, most definitely
wow.
is. Like maybe, and then like maybe okay, something like for somebody from back in the day, um, like the Holy Tablets, uh, chapter chapter 3, tablet 4, verse 25 through 28. It talk about also like how the ancestors of the Watusis were deities that came from the underworld, or per se, they came from the cave world to the surface and mixed. They were called Dunakil. And that was another thing about the Watusis that I was like, oh, because I was reading in another book by Dr. York called Shambhala and Agartha, Cities Within the Earth. And he was explaining how the Watusis knew about the hollow world, like the Hindu race, and it was somebody else. I think it was the pygmies, or yeah, the small people who the Watusi were protectors of. Because when it was like a meteorite shower that struck, they survived it. Kind of like how when they talk about the flood
Right.
and the serpent people survived the flood. Well, they went behind the waterfalls, like into the caverns of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was like, oh, they went underground. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, underground, underworld. I was like, oh shit. I was like, huh. Oh. I was like, I'm tall too, because I started reading those. Like, they were a tall tribe, tall, slender, you know what I mean, people. I was like, oh. I'm like, what this? They was tall. And then, like, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, PA, Planet Asia, when he said that to me in New York about Sheikh the Mayor, his father, like, somebody in his family was the owner of the Watusi daycare center. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And then I learned in the books that by Dr. York that the Watusis were the protector of the little people. I'm thinking of my daughter. But the little
Right.
people were the tall heights. Or sometimes they call sands. They got various names. But or pygmy, you know what I mean? But they are
Right.
very mighty. They're very mighty people. And the
Wow.
Watusis like the Ding and so the Watusi are in like Eastern Africa, Northeastern Africa. Then you have another tribe in Sudan called Ding. They're the same thing. They protect the small people. They're protectors.
You just dropped some
You know.
gems, yo. A lot of
So yeah,
gems
that
right
book is
there.
that book is I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that Shambhala and Argartha, cities within the earth.
Mm.
You might be able to get that joint.
Or it's probably
Yeah.
online. Who knows?
Yeah, it
Who
definitely
knows?
probably online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who
Maybe not
knows?
the whole it might be on there. Good luck.
Right? Who knows? Yo,
Great
what's
talking to you,
next
man.
up,
This is my
man?
first interview,
Word.
2021, man. Thank you, bro.
Yo, no
It was
doubt.
so
No
good.
doubt. We're not done yet. What's next
Alright.
for Watusi?
Um So yeah, I don't know if you seen me posting it. I just put out a new song with Micah Nine from Freestyle Fellowship. Shout out Micah Nine,
Oh,
and it was
word.
produced by my homeboy Dio that passed. It's also got DJ True Justice on there, from Slap Falls, Bay Area. So we did it, Dio, man, because those are the Bay Area and LA to the Bay. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those artists that I was talking about, like Living Legends, you know what I mean? They were on that LA to the Bay, that unity. You know what I mean? Just like how we had unity on U Street, didn't matter where you came from, long you was about something positive, long you was about something. You know what I mean? You was good, you was tight,
That's
you
what's
was
up.
MCing. You know what I'm saying?
And where can people
So
hear
yeah,
it?
they can hear it on my band account.
There you go. Just go to
Watusi Code Leader.
Watusi. What is it?
What,
Watusi at Bandcamp or?
Watusi Code Leader 1.bandcamp.com. Y'all want to hear some of my some new stuff?
Yeah, play something.
Alright, that's what's up. We up here in the dungeon.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Get a Watusi exclusive during
Hey.
those combos. Oh,
Hey. I'm here with
I think he
Hey. Make way. Make way. Make way. Make way. Make way. Spaceman equation, son, he jeans designer. I'm a Nubian scribe, my mind's a whistle like conniver. Under my knee heads, read a digest, and get a gist of my God complex like mindset. Erect the totem, don't rock the ropes, stand the floats. Cosmic oceans, got patterns in my brain. Synapses, let me hold something. Heard you big face, lovely. Live delicious in this heart, and I mean hardly. I'm on a black star liner like Marcus Garvey. Mom started to spark upon spiritual waters, witty. I'm a new age coming, that old something like dragons, something about the dungeons, like mummies alive. But God was back down to just a God mighty whole like messages. And a man jack, man clever like Escalade, I juggle. Return to the Jedi, nigga, make way. Lead the way. In a sticky situation, get away. We on a plane of liberation. Just a higher meditation, feeling great. Make way. Make way. Watusi coat. Lead the way. Y'all like that? That's a little
that
something.
is dope, kid. Do
Yeah,
y'all
man. That's what's
thing.
up,
Do
bro.
y'all thing. Rock with the five.
Make way. That joint rock. I can't wait. I
Word,
can't wait.
word.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
dope. That
what?
is real dope. So now I gotta check
Yeah,
that out on
yeah,
Bandcamp. Yo, where can
sir.
people find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Watusi Cult Leader or at Watusi Cult. CULT.
That joint was
Or
fire,
Tusi
man.
Villain. Tusi Villain at Instagram. Yeah, man. That's a
That's
knock that joint out.
yo.
Yeah.
This
That
is
hook is right, make way. Watusi Cult. Lead the way.
yo.
Yeah, man.
That's dope. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yo, thank you
You welcome,
for
bro. Most definitely.
for doing this interview with us.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
It was a very dope
Appreciate it.
journey going through Watusi from
Yeah, man. For real. All the way. You know what I
all
mean?
the way,
I
all
don't
the
think I'm
way.
changing my name again.
Word. And yo, I appreciate like doing this interview with you, and I'm glad like
Appreciate it too, bro.
the stories of how like how like you met Jamal and he's the
Man,
one that hooked
Fuji,
us with
man, I met
everything.
Haran. I mean, Haran Gabron is somebody that I mean, that's my homie right there too, bro.
Word.
Because I mean, the book, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I was like, Haran Gibran. I was like, I know that, you know. But then I was like, the Haran. You know what I'm saying? It was like all y'all, even Scorpion, all y'all, big up to the whole amphibians mob, bro. For
Oh
real,
man,
it's us.
it's like you were
John
there.
Moon.
It was like
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
there, dude.
Nah, I was just a seed, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I was just seeded, just like Audrey and Little Shop of Horrors. Like y'all was just kept feeding me though. Y'all was just feeding me like, all right.
All
They
I
was like,
know is
oh, what's
that we
going
got to
on?
start working together. That's it.
Most definitely, but y'all probably look down like, yo, man, what's going on with Tusi? All right, give him a little food. Are you growing? All right. And then it's this way
Yeah.
because I remember like saying my name is like, okay. A lot of people's like, oh yeah, it's just all right. But I remember when I performed, it was somewhere on U Street. I think it was. You know YUC Baraka?
Yeah, yeah.
My man, that's my man. Like I always wanted to impress him, but like when I was doing Dave the Hip Hop Junk, he was like, shit's alright, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then when I changed it to Watusi, he was like, Watusi, he was like, yeah. He was like, this shit's tough. I was like, all right, man. Look, I could do it for 10, but like I do it for 5. He just immediately pulled out that 5 like I needed that. I was like, I gave him that. He brought Ethereum experience. He went back and listened to that joint. Now I got a song on there called "I Am No Earthling."
Right.
That song, I had a sample of the loop from Saul Williams' own Lyricist Lounge, the first Lyricist Lounge album.
Right, right.
You know, that's like his family. Like
That's
I
his
seen on
cousin,
social,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He heard that shit. He was like, bruh. He's like, yeah, that shit's over wild shit. He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, use that Saul Williams joint, and then like that was just another layer of the Watusi. Like they see me like, I am no earthling. Like niggas would request that song. Like promoters be like, you got to do what? Are you doing I am no earthling song? And then I remember like people would be like, oh man, this nigga Lil Wayne, bro. This nigga trying to be like you. I was like, what you talking about? He was like, you got the red fur because I had an album.
Right.
It was a live album at Velvet Lounge
Okay.
when I was working at 930 Club. I did a show with Navi. I don't know if you know Navi. He be doing he's like, man, he's dynamic. Like it was always artists and shit that worked at the 930 Club. They booked the Velvet. I opened up for them, but they recorded the live recording of it. I was like, damn, I ain't got no live recording. And the J sound, you know, Velvet has good sound. I
Right.
was just talking about that to him. Yeah, so the album sounds good, bro. I was like, okay. So I had the red cover in the background. And then like maybe about some months later, my man was like, I was in Atlanta. Lil Wayne tried this he got this like this poster saying I'm a beast, so it was like I am no human. And he got the red background like your shit, he was like young. And you know how he had his how he had his dreads and he was trying to make it like the Pharaoh hat. Like the Namuz. You know what I'm saying? How he was just trying to explain it to me. He was like, these niggas know. I was like, nah.
It's just coincidence.
Yeah, he's like, these niggas know. I was like, all right, man.
Yo,
But it happened
man.
more than once. But it's like, you know, to getting people to like notice. It was just layers of it. Like trying your musical with people is like and being a salesman, man. That's a whole nother thing, bro.
Right,
And
right.
being out there, it was like a lot of people out there was tough, man. It was tough to You know what I mean? To get them to like get down with your shit, it was tough. You just had to be constant. You know what I mean? Knowing like I was like, at least I'm out here. At least I'm working on it.
Wow. I mean,
You
it's
know what I
dope
mean?
that you're very
Because
consistent.
look, because look, even though you was gone, like by when you was gone, bro, it was an organ. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. It was like every night. My father was like, "What? Where are you, bro?" He's like, "All this all night stuff." He's like, "Where are you in DC?" He was like, He's like, "Where are you in town?" I was like, "For real," because it was because it'd be like a open mic or something like that every night. You just had to find it, and
Right,
then when they find you, it was like, I was like, yeah. So it was like an organ. It was like a body.
right.
You know what I mean? It was just so many people that was just doing their things, and so many venues that was open. It's like, why not?
Nah, that's amazing.
Every night it was something to do. Every night it was something to do, hip hop wise. Every night, shit
Every
was
night.
like that.
Yeah.
Every night it was something to do, bro.
That's why we're trying to
Yeah,
tell the story. That's why we're trying to tell the
yeah.
story, yo.
I miss it, man. I miss it.
You know
It
what I'm
was. I mean,
saying?
it had its ups and downs, but shit, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Though I loved it.
Word.
Yeah, and I just got the like tail end of it. Y'all got the golden age. Like I look at those people sometimes I cry, man. I was like, yeah, look at y'all so happy, dog. Y'all so together. Y'all I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look at all y'all. I was like, I could just pick. I'm like, that's heavy. And I was like, that's you. I'll just see, that's your man. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, just look at that. Y'all look so happy and together, bro. I
Well,
love that.
I'll tell you,
You
it's
know what I
hard.
mean?
It's hard,
I
but
know.
a
I know it
family is better.
is,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
Word. But on
But I
that
mean, just
note,
like for
yo,
the,
on that note,
hmm?
yo, once again, thank you very much. Of
You're
course,
welcome,
people
man.
are gonna
You
check
got it,
out your
bro.
music, watch your
Hope so, man.
videos.
Oh, yeah, man.
Of course, we're gonna do something together.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out www.amphibians.com. Get that merch.
Yeah.
That's the logo right there.
Hell
Also,
yeah. Dope.
also check out SlimCat78 for Wax
Most definitely.
Wednesdays at 9 o'clock on the same channel.
You
And
got it.
I'll see you next week. Next week we got Lexi. We got Lexi.
Man, that's
That
what's
should
up,
be
man. Like,
interesting. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you always have a lot of people that I like look up to, and then you have a lot of people that, or like people I've been influenced by, but then you have a lot of people I don't even know.
Right.
But it's always worth watching it. Nah, because like you a conduit, bro. You a opener of the way. You heard that song? Make way. Watusi Coat, lead the way. In a sticky situation to get away.
There you
We on a
go.
plane of liberation. Y'all always had that plane of liberation. Big up U Street, man. All y'all, man. It was like y'all put those tones out there, and it was like we in the center of the earth, kind of like with DC. You know what I mean?
Right. Yo,
You know
big
what
up
I
to
mean?
you, fam. For real.
Most definitely, bro. You already know I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna get on this next song.
All right, y'all.
All
Yo,
right. Peace.
peace, everybody.
All right. Yeah.
Peace.
To see this, what's up?